So I watched a documentary on Google DeepMind, and honestly, I loved it. I really did. Not because of the tech, but because of the person behind it. So this is the story of someone who could have been a chess master, but instead asked a bigger question. What if intelligence itself could be understood and used to make the world better? So Demis Hassabis, I hope I'm saying his name right, was a child chess prodigy. And at 13, he was already competing at like elite levels. And, most people would have kept going. The trophies, titles, legacy, money. But he didn't want to win games. He wanted to understand how intelligence works. And this may kind of be a spoiler alert in this particular episode. I don't want it to be, but I've linked the documentary in the description. And speaking of links and descriptions, if you are new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are not new, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So instead of becoming a grandmaster, he studied neuroscience, cognitive science, and AI. So chess wasn't the goal. It was more like a training ground, if you will. So he's responsible for DeepMind, and you see the progression to that, right? So DeepMind wasn't created to build apps. It was created to solve intelligence itself, which I think is uber cool. Solve intelligence, use it to solve everything else, which is DeepMind's philosophy. And it's more than just a philosophy, right? That's like a worldview. Now, the idea is simple and terrifying. Now, I always say of this time, this era, is great and terrible. Because if we understand learning, reasoning, and decision making, we can apply it to medicine, climate, energy, science. Now, you see the progression throughout the movie from games to global impact, right? So AlphaGo wasn't about Go. It was proof that machines could learn creatively. And AlphaFold, now that changed biology, that changed everything. This is when AI stopped being about efficiency and started to be about discovery. This is why DeepMind matters, in my opinion. So Demis Hassabis talks openly about AGI risks, which I think is great. I think that it's great to look at both aspects of it. He doesn't pretend this is harmless. He believes AGI should be built slowly, carefully, and ethically. If all of those creators of AI would have the same mindset, then the world could potentially be a better place. But this is why we have other people in other positions to regulate. However, this is very important nonetheless, because not everyone, they all don't think the same way. That's building AI. So very short, very quick episode, because I don't want to give too much away about the documentary. I definitely want you to go and watch the documentary for yourself. And we're going to pivot into the Control Our Dream segment. This is where we pause, because this story isn't just about AI. It's about what you do with your gifts ultimately. And I say this, and I've said this in other videos, you can either use AI to enhance what you already have. You can use it in conjunction to. You can use it solely. I've used AI in all capacities. I just personally love in to create, and I use my creativity as an outlet. So Demis Hassabis could have chased personal greatness, which is not a bad thing. Instead, he chased collective impact, and that's important. So the question isn't what can AI become, it's what do we want intelligent, human, or artificial to be used for? Control Alt Delete is playing small. Control Alt Dream is using what you have to make something bigger than you. So as always, thank you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the vibe. Comment DeepMind. And go and watch the documentary. And come back to this video and let me know what you think of the documentary and how that is impacting your understanding of AI. Until next time.